We're in Beaver, Utah, Beaver County. Beaver is the county seat of Beaver, go figure, and has roughly 3,500 people population-wise. We'll be starting our 5K tour in front of the very popular Creamery. It's crowded in there today, folks. Fun facts about Beaver. Beaver was founded in 1856. Before then, wasn't really thought much of as a city or a place where people would stop to settle as people walk through, but a Mormon named George A. Smith was traveling through and stopped and thought, hey, this has got great pasture area and will be a great place for a city. Then settlers migrated north from nearby cities down south and started popularizing it. Beaver started out as a popular center for woolery, tanning, and cattle. And due to its location near to the mountains, had great timber and has a nearby river called the Beaver River. Beaver, even though settled in 1856, didn't become incorporated until 1867, so 11 years later to become an official city. Other fun facts about Beaver City is Beaver was home of the very famous Butch Cassidy. This is where he's born and raised before he might have been an outlaw here too. I was gonna say before he became an outlaw. Beaver was also the first city in Utah to gain electricity when they put the first hydroelectric dam on the Beaver River. And it seems like a missed opportunity. No, it was not called the Beaver Dam. I would have named it the Beaver Dam. It had the largest mercantile, which became a ZCMI, south of Salt Lake City in Utah for a long time, and in 2010 was voted best drinking water in the whole United States. Apparently the drinking water here from the river coming down the mountains, really good. We'll try some. With that, join us on our 5K tour, which starts at the Creamery and ends at the Creamery, because well, Stacy planned this, and as donuts are to Tyson, cheese is to Stacy, and she's planning to load up by the time we're done. So I'm gonna make her run the 3 miles first. Here we go. Okay, we'll start our tour at the Beaver Creamery. Let's churn up some history. Back in 1952, local farmers in Beaver laid the foundation for the cheesy legacy with a cheese plant. Today, the Creamery proudly showcases that heritage in their retail store. From cheese curds to specialty cheeses and even farm fresh ice cream, they've got a dairy delights for all taste. It's utterly delightful. Here we have another Carnegie Library. We've seen a lot of these. If you guys want to check out a book, get a library card, check it out. You can't keep them, you got to return them. But it's free, and you guys know I like free. Free. Moving on. Alright, here we've got the old Opera House, or maybe if you want to call it, the old National Guard building, because it was both. The Opera House was built in 1908 and was a cultural beacon of southern Utah. The building was constructed of a pink tuff, I don't know what that is, and now houses the Opera House Civic Center. The Opera House was used for community events and vaudeville for quite a while, and then by 1929 the Opera House was then turned over to the National Guard as it was unable to compete with, I guess, other things. It was also for a short time a movie house. The National Guard used it until 1955, and then it looks like it's back to being an opera house now. So anyways, it's a cool building and a little bit of a history. Here you go. Here we're running by the Beaver Courthouse. The Beaver Courthouse was built in 1876 after the 6,000 inhabitants of the county elected to build it. It was to house the 2nd Judicial District Court of the Territory of Utah. So this was before Utah was a state.
Although construction began in 1876, the courthouse was not completed until 1882. So that took it a good old 16 years by my math to build, and it cost $10,960. Fire partially destroyed the structure in 1889, but it was soon rebuilt with many improvements, like maybe the clock tower. Save the clock tower, y'all. Later additions to the rear included a 32 by 29 vault and a jail. So, got some security in there now. Right next to this courthouse, you'll see that we have a little cabin and a statue. This is the statue and cabin for Philo T. Farnsworth, who was a local here to Beaver. Says he was about 5 miles north, but basically a member of Beaver. You guys will all actually want to know who Philo is because Philo invented the TV. That's right, the TV inventor was from Utah. Other stuff to know about him is he was born August 19th, 1906 in a log cabin near Beaver. And at an early age, he became familiar with various components of the telephone and the gramophone. By age 12, he had a thorough understanding of electronics. Bit of a wonderkin, huh? In 1922, at age 15, now living in Rigby, Idaho, he developed the concept of electronic transmission of images and drew mathematical diagrams to show how this could be done. So I guess technically he invented the TV in Idaho, same place they have potatoes. Maybe they powered it with potatoes. Born in Utah and raised in Utah and did a lot of his work in Utah. We're claiming the TV, y'all. I don't care what those Idaho people say. They can argue me in the comments. Okay, as we turn the corner here, we'll give you a brief glimpse of the Delano Motel, which opened in 1962, so it's not all that old. But it does have a cool vintage neon sign. Right after the Delano Motel, we move on to the Belknap School, which was built around 1908. Alright, this building that says Beaver Sport and Pond and is clearly open from the open sign actually was the old Low Hotel. It's got some cool paintings on the side too. The Old Low Hotel is an example of excellent stonework on a commercial structure and is one of 4 remaining business blocks that best document Beaver's commercial history. The building at one time served as a dwelling on the first floor and a hall on the second. By 1917, it housed a millinery business and lodging facilities, and in 1923, additions were made to the structure and it became the Hotel Low. Or Old Low Hotel, because we've got it worded both ways, y'all. Serving Beaver's role as a popular tourist and traveler stop. Alright, we've got 3 buildings here all in a row, starting with Sherwood Forest. That is not the name of the building, so you guys can know it when we're talking about. This is actually the Odd Fellows Hall. It was built in 1903 and is significant as one of only 4 commercial structures on Main Street, we already talked about one, that retain historic integrity, and as the only building in Beaver documenting the importance of the secular, fraternal lodges and societies in the development of the town, which would be the Odd Fellows, kind of like the Freemasons. The Independent Order of the Odd Fellows ranked as an important 19th and 20th century fraternal organization who served a vital social function in many towns throughout the country. The eventual accusation of the building by the Beaver Grand Lodge symbolized that the adherence of this social order to the town of Beaver. So I've never heard of the Independent Order of the Odd Fellows, but there you go. But if we move on down, as if you're walking down the street here, following the other side of that diesel, we also move to Tolton Block, which is the middle building. Tolton Block was also built in 1899 as one of the 4 buildings, and it says it is the best of the 4 remaining commercial structures when it comes to historical integrity. So it's had the least amount of modification. It was built by John F. Tolton. He had this 2-story commercial building constructed in 1899. The Tolton Grocery functioned as one of various general stores in Beaver, which grew to serve the developing community and the town. By 1912, Tolton's grocery business was known as J.F. Tolton and Sons, so he had some kids. In 1947, a fire gutted the interior, and reportedly the Toltons lost their fortune due to it. That sucks. In 1950, the building was purchased by Halbert Lund and his brother, who continued to operate a general store. The Tolton Block remains much as it did. And then the last one on the corner here is the Manfields Motel, built in 1893. It is still actually a motel today, but it has been slightly changed because it also has 2 shops and some apartments in it. All the ceilings were originally 14 feet tall, and the door displays transom windows and wide molding. So this little corner here kind of had, once again, one of those do-it-all type corners where you've got your motel, you've got a grocery store, and then you've got the Oddfellows meeting. So kind of cool little part of town. We'll continue to move on. Alright, as we look across the street here, just past the light, you can see a very, very square building. This is the post office. And Stacy said this is like the most square building in the whole city. Like, it is like a perfect square. But hey, it's hip to be square, right? Right? Anyways, another post office. Check it out. Also, shout out to my buddy Nick. He likes post office.
Just finished our 5K of Beaver, Utah. Notice their high school mascot is the Beavers too. I'm gonna give them a 2 on originality. We ended just on the other side of the parking lot, parked over there of the creamery. Stacy's gonna go load up on her favorite food. Top number 1 food, not top 5, top number 1 food for her, cheese. She loves it. She loves it a lot. So thanks again, everybody. Beaver, Utah. Fun little city. It's got some snow up on the mountains. If you haven't noticed by now, every city we run in, 360 view of mountains. So if you're not from Utah, mountains everywhere you look. If you are from Utah, well, we take it for granted. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the views. Anyways, with that being said, if you have any tips, recommendations when we come to your city, if we haven't already done it, reach out. Email, comment below, whatever, like, comment, subscribe. I don't say that much, I noticed. I should work on that. Anyways, with that being said, stay safe and keep pushing.
All right, so we also want to give a little bit of credit to this gas station here that's just off of I-15. We recorded it live, but it was super, super windy, so we're gonna do a voiceover. This gas station is owned by a local owner. Every time we stop here, this guy comes out, the owner, and he like cleans our windows, he checks on us, he asks, nice questions, he tries to have a chat with you, and then the next car pulls up, and he kindly excuses himself to go and clean their windows and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of cool, and we just wanted to shout out, hey, if you're ever driving up I-15 and you're in the Beaver area and you're like, hey, I need gas, check this gas station out. Every time we've come here, we've just had a really cool interaction with the owner. So check it out.